This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. Prime Minister Majaliwa suspended 3 directors of Tanzania Building Agency TBA and directed the executive director of TBA, architect Daud Kadoro, to assess his own performance. The Prime Minister suspended the directors when he toured the construction project of the National Electoral Commission office building at Njendengwa area in Dodoma City. The suspended directors include the acting director of construction, architect Kilo, acting manager of projects Abdallah Awad, and the acting director of consultancy, architect Hamis Kileo.
TBS mmekiri mmekosa. Nani mkurugenzi wa ujenzi kwenye nani yenu?
TBA, you've accepted your shortcomings. Manager, you are aware of this. How many projects have you encountered dissatisfaction from your clients? TBA is a government institution, but your performance is poor. You failed on the Magomeni project. You missed the deadline. You must be rebuked to do well. Is it because you are a government institution? We added you more time. This is impossible. TBA project manager and construction manager, as of today, you've been suspended. This sort of behavior is causing us big losses.
Zinapatikana wapi? Kama bilioni 13 zenyewe tumezipata mpaka kwenda kuomba.
And 4 members of parliament from opposition Chadema party have appeared in Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court under tight police security after violating bail conditions. The members of parliament who are facing incitement charges include Esther Belaya, MP of Bunda Urban, John Heche, MP of Tarime Rural, Peter Msigwa of Iringa Urban, and Halima Nde, MP of Kawe. The 4, however, were taken to a special room before they were taken away in a police vehicle. The case has been adjourned until the 21st of November this year. And the Inspector General of Police, IGP Simon Siro, has warned Tanzanians who have been crossing over to Mozambique and coming back to Mtwara to carry out criminal activities before returning to Mozambique. The IGP Simon Siro gave the warning during an interview in the Konani program, which was broadcasted today by ITV via YouTube. IGP Siro also urged Tanzania to adhere to laws during the local government election.
Kuna mikoa ambayo bado watu hao wanajiandaa kwenda kusaidia kule.
There are some regions whereby this group is planning to go to them. I believe before they get there, we will have answers. I assure Tanzanians we are strong, and this is done by Tanzanians with bad intentions. I've spoken to Mtwara, Ruvuma, Lindi, and other coastal routes to assist us in reporting any suspicious behavior.
Njia za pwani huku watusaidia sana wakiona jambo ambalo sio la kawaida, watu hao watupe taarifa.
More than 85,000 refugees from camps in Kigoma region have voluntarily returned to Burundi since the start of repatriation operation in 2017. This was said by the director of the refugee department in the country, Sudi Mwakibasi, when addressing hundreds of Burundian refugees at Mtendeli camp in Kakonko district.
Refugee status is short-term, and when reasons that forced you to leave are no longer valid, then you've no reason to remain here. Peace has been restored in Burundi. You must therefore return home with dignity. However, there are some refugees with special security needs.
The Energy and Minerals Parliamentary Committee has directed the Ministry of Energy to immediately distribute power at Tamigold Mine in KAGERA region. This is in order to stop the mine from operating at a loss, as it spends 700 million shillings every month to purchase diesel to operate it. The committee gave the directive during an inspection tour of the mine, which is owned by the government.
pamoja na sisi kama kamati tuweze kuona.
As the committee and through the Ministry of Energy, we want to see how we can get electricity as soon as possible, because we cannot carry on with production at such high cost. It gets to a point where there is no profit to make them want to continue producing.
Hapa mtakumbuka kwamba ziliwahi kuwekwa pesa dola za Kimarekani.
If you remember, 11 million US dollars was lost here, incurring 60 billion in losses. You can no longer go back to the government and ask for more money. Therefore, we must use what we have in assets or take out a loan. With electricity, instead of using 1 billion per month, we'll only use 300 million, meaning that 700 million will be invested back.
170 families at Katenga area in Rugera town, Barali district and Mbeya region are unable to conduct farming activities after the district commissioner banned such activities due to land disputes. The residents have expressed concern on the ban, saying they were born in the area and have been living there for many years. Barali District Commissioner Ruben Mfune has urged the residents to remain calm while measures are being taken to address the problem.
An order to vacate has been given, and this affects us because we rely on these farms for food and to pay our children's school fees. I don't understand why I'm asked to leave when I've settled here for many years. Some people have assumed ownership and are not letting others use until fair distribution is made.
Tanzania Fertilizer Regulatory Authority TFRA and Tanzania Bureau of Standards TBS have been called on to ensure farmers get good quality fertilizers, while farmers in SONGEA District Ruvuma region have urged for price reduction of fertilizer.
The fertilizer comes from Dar es Salaam, but when it gets here, we are told that it is below standard when it is TBS verified. What is the problem? And this happens all the time. If the government can control pricing on farm implements, then agriculture will do better, because farmers understand the need of using the right implements. I insist that they should not open bags or sell in small amounts. This is the reason why different packaging is now in use.
Residents of Mpigi Magoe, Kibesa, Makore, Kisare in UBUNGO district have called on the government to improve road infrastructure and ensure electricity connection and reduce electricity connection costs. The residents raised the concerns when the Deputy Minister of Energy inspected electricity in UBUNGO district.
We're grateful that we are connected, but our road is impassable and teachers are forced to walk to school, although some maintenance work is going on. For a long time, this area had no electricity. I'm grateful to your ministry for connecting them. This will be greatly beneficial to the people, which was a cry for a long time. I've made a request. If connection charges could be as low as those charged by REA, I take this forward. But you must also understand that REA projects are financed by Rural Energy Fund, specially set aside for this purpose, while projects in urban areas are carried out by TANESCO.
And that's all for the national news. International news is next. And in international news, A Kenya Defence Forces officer, Major Peter Mgure, has appeared in court in connection with the murder of his wife and 2 children. The 3 bodies were discovered on Saturday at Makuburini in Thingithu area. Detectives believe that Mgure may have plotted to kill the 3 after the court ordered that 75,000 shillings should be deducted from his salary each month for the upkeep of the 2 children.
Suspects, that is the first respondent and the second respondent, are being investigated for an allegation of murder of 3 deceased. Now, the court has been informed that the suspects were arrested on the 15th and 16th November, respectively. The 3 bodies were recovered just very recent. The prosecution has thus sought to have the 2 suspects incarcerated at Nanyuki Police Station and Narumoro Police Station for 21 days in order to complete investigations which have been said to be complex, to be technical, as well as wide. Now, the Defense Counsel for the first respondent has not opposed the application, save that he has alluded to that 21 days is long time, but 20 days which he feels suffices since the DCI is now working with the homicide experts from Nairobi.
Political, security and cultural complications have made it difficult for health workers in the Democratic Republic of Congo to contain an Ebola outbreak that has killed at least 2,000 people since it started last year. Doctors are now using local and faith leaders in a vaccination drive targeting one of the most hard-to-access communities in the country, the Pygmies. The Pygmies have been historically marginalized. Many are poor and live far from hospitals and schools. But to reach the goal of 0 Ebola cases by the end of the year, doctors say no one can be left out. The Fisheries and Marine Species Research Institute in Kenya has come up with a new technology for drying fish so as to prevent the fish from spoiling. The technology is being tried out in Jasini and Vanga areas along the coast of Kenya as well as in neighboring Tanzania.
And get more of them.
Innovation yetu tunaweza kupanga trays nyingi.
We have innovated it by setting aside made trays up to 10 with each containing fish, so you can dry more fish at the same time. This brings in more money and is also a good process for the environment.
That's it for international news. Do stay with us. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Thank you for staying with us. And now in business news. The President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, has opened an entrepreneurs exhibition as part of celebrations to mark the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the East African Community. Speaking at the occasion, President Shein called on entrepreneurs to be innovative and to look for opportunities in the industrial sector.
East Africa is a good place economically if we effectively utilize our experience, knowledge and creativity as well as different resources to fulfill our national and zonal dreams to become a middle economy country.
Unit Trust of Tanzania, UTT, through its bond fund, has sold units worth 16 billion shillings between September 16th and October 15th this year, with more than 200 investors buying the units.
Kiasi ambacho kimekusanywa katika kipindi hicho ni karibia bilioni 16 kwa maana bilioni 15.9. Wakati mwingine mtu anaweza akaona milioni 15, lakini kwa kawaida mifuko hii huwa inaanza sio kama mauzo ya hisa.
Mfuko wetu wa hati fungani tunajua kwamba asilimia kubwa kuanzia asilimia 90 mpaka 100 inatakiwa iwekezwe katika hati fungani za serikali, na ndio tulikofanya. Lakini sasa baada ya kuwekeza tumepata nini? Tunaona kwamba pesa imekuwa, kipande kimekuwa kwa shilingi 1.41.
Farmers in the country have been advised to increase production of crops which can produce edible oils such as palm oil and sunflower in order to reduce imports, as currently the government is spending more than 400 billion shillings to import edible oil.
Na swala hili limefikiwa pale baada ya kuona kwamba nchi yetu inahitaji.
This decision has been reached after seeing that our country needs 570,000 tons of edible oil and we produce approximately 40% of that, which is 205,000 only. 365,000 tons is imported, and that is why we use a lot of foreign currency when ordering it into the country.
Tulinunua miche 1117.
We bought 1,117 seedlings and stored them here. The seedlings were found at great cost because one seedling was 6,000 shillings. We used almost 7,035,000 shillings for all of them. Later, the government added support to the Ministry of Agriculture through TARI, and they have also been a help to us with more seedlings.
And that is the end of business news. We'll be back with sports news after this short break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.